Yeah, hi. The purpose of this demo is to show you the simplest multi-threaded program in Java. For example, if you have a single threaded program and say you type the letter T 1,000 times and the letter O 1,000 times, the output will appear as this. Once the T's finish, the O's will start and the O's will finish. If you have a multi-threaded program, the T's and O's will be interleaved. So this is the difference between a single thread and a multi-threaded program. So let us get going and write our first multi-threaded program in Java. So I've already written this public class using multi-threading. Let me add the signature of the main method, public static void main, string arguments. Let us hand over a for loop to the main method. So I will say for int I is equal to 0, and this runs for 1,000 times. Keep incrementing I and print the letter T. Let us print the letter T. Now to write a multi-threaded program, say to print T's and O's together interleaved, there are two ways. Number one is to extend the thread class, which we will do in this example, and the second one is to implement the runnable interface. Now, given a choice, it's always better to implement an interface because in Java, you can implement multiple interfaces in the same class. So the same thing can implement many interfaces and get its behavior for many things. But for simplicity, right now, we use the extending the thread class approach. So I will be writing another class, say class another class. Let us make this a new thread by extending thread extends. Okay. So this thread can do its own thing, but its own thing has to be written under public void run method, which will be overridden. That means we will provide the implementation. We will say what it does. And whatever is written here can be started or can be initialized using the start method. So since I want to print T's and O's together, I will copy this for loop. And instead of printing a T, let it print a small o. Now to start this, I have to go inside the main method, make a new thread T1. Another class is already extending the thread class. Okay, so this is a thread and this can be started. So whenever you write T1.start, this start will look for the implementation of the run method. So it comes here and start printing this. To make it even more illustrative, let us add another thread class. This time we can also use anonymous classes. So I can, from within the main method, let me make another thread. So this is same as the constructor. I initialize another thread. This time this thread has no name, and that's why we call it anonymous class. Anonymous class way. Okay. And what does this do? This also prints something 1,000 times. And what is that something? Let us say instead of a T, it prints triple three dots here. And this thread has to be started. Now, yeah. So the start method looks for the implementation of what is to be done in the run. in the run method. And now we have three loops, each of which prints its own thing. This prints a T, this prints a triple dot, and this prints an O. So I will run this and let us see how our first multi-threaded program outputs. Fantastic. Look at this. So the execution, every time you run this, there's going to be a different answer because uh, that's how multi-threading behaves. You never know which thing is going to, whatever gets the CPU first runs first. Let's run it again and see. Yeah, you see, every time you run this, it gets a different answer. But all three are interleaved and happening together, and that's why this is our first multi-threaded program. Thank you.